Welcome. Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey.
Hello, everybody.
Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality, and we broadcast every Tuesday from 7 to 8 o'clock Pacific time. If you live in the Fraser Valley in BC, you can catch us being broadcasting on 101.7 FM. Don't laugh, because you've knocked me off now. I don't have to think of what I'm supposed to say. Sorry. I'm going to start again. Welcome, everybody, to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey.
Hello, everybody.
Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality, and we broadcast live every Tuesday evening across the Fraser Valley in BC on 101.7 FM from CIVL, and which is located on the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation. But I'll let you into a secret as well, listeners. And the secret is you can actually tune in live, because at the exact same time slot that we're broadcasting on the terrestrial airwaves, we're also pre-recording the show for the following week. And
that's
so
exciting.
Yes, and you can join in, you can watch that, and the trick to doing that is to join the Awaken Your Psychic Abilities Facebook group or to follow me on my YouTube channel. It's as simple as that.
I do both.
And then you get to be in the live studio audience. And you get to participate. You get to ask your questions and have your questions answered.
Then you can catch us.
Yeah, and normally on the show we have a theme, and today we just thought we're going to see what just what shows up in the moment. Won't that be fun? And so I think we'll have a lot of time today for people to ask questions. And of course, if you're new to the show, all you need to do is you type your questions into the chat, and then Corey will read them out. But in the meantime, because normally I do a little bit of a teaching at the beginning, and I was talking to one of my guides before the show began. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about well, I'll tell you, I said to my guide, what is the first principle? Because my guide was talking to me about some new teachings that he wanted to bring through. So I said, what is the first principle? And he said, love is the first principle. And I said, well, what's the second principle? And he said, there is no second principle. And so we were having a conversation about love before the show began. And so I want to invite all the listeners to, I want you to just write in the chat box one word that is something that love is to you. So love is, it could be like, love is inclusive, love is honesty. So I want to invite you to do that, and we'll see what everybody writes, and then we'll talk about what everybody writes. Because I mean, and what I was talking about with my guide is, I'm in the process of writing a channeling course. And so part of being in the frequency to channel involves being at the highest vibration possible. And what higher vibration is there that we can access but the vibration of love? So if you can be in the vibration of love, then you're in a very high vibration indeed. And so love is a uniting force. It brings things together. It is a force of cohesion. It's a force of cohesion that interconnects all things. So if we want to communicate spiritually with something, we need to be attracted to it. We need to connect with it. And so that's how being in the vibration of love helps us to channel, helps us to connect with our own higher being. And by the way, folks, we are going to answer your questions. And so you can definitely type your questions in the chat box, because we're definitely going to answer your questions later in the show. So please go ahead and do that so that we can have a big list of questions to answer. Yeah, so we were talking about love and love being a uniting force, love being a force of cohesion that interconnects everything. And my guide said, love brings you closer to whatever it is that you are seeking. So if what you are seeking is something to do with a relationship, or something that you want to create for yourself, or you want to manifest for yourself, then love brings you closer to that, because love puts you in a vibration of being a force of attraction, and also compelling you in the direction of what it is that you are desiring. It puts you in a positive trajectory. So love is a force of attraction. And one of the things that, when I was talking to my guide, we were out on the deck looking at the garden, and he said, you know, look around you, because everything that you're looking at is made of love. The trees are made of love. The grass is made of love. And he explained it like this, because love is the great unifier, and it underpins everything. It is in physics, it's in chemistry, it's in biology, it's in all of these sciences that we get so intellectual about. But, you know, love is what attracts molecules together. It's what attracts, you know, electrons rotating around an atom. It's in chemistry, it's in physics, it's in biology. Love is in everything that you look at, if you allow yourself to see it. And that's the thing about the human condition, that in the human condition, we've separated ourselves from the love that we are. So we have entered a state of separation. So love is a cohesive force that underpins everything in the universe. And it's what we're made of. It's what everything else is made of. But we've created the illusion of being separate from that. And so we're on this journey to come back into cohesion, to come back into alignment. We're on this journey back into the oneness. And that is a journey of opening up to love, so that we can create that, so that we can stop feeling so separate, so we can step out of the illusion of separation. So, Corey, do we have some words that people wrote for what love is?
Yes, we do. We have a whole bunch of them.
Oh, cool. I'd love to hear what they are.
Tell you what, I'll tell you them. So Shannon says, love is unconditional. Tete, I hope I'm pronouncing that, said, love is flowing.
Yeah.
Louise, love transcends all space and time. Katie says, love is oneness. Brian says love is life. Carol says love is everything that aligns you to your higher self. Janice says love is the highest energy. Monotone Maiden says love is compassion. Crystal says love is integrity. And Fran says love is light.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got so far.
That's fantastic. And also think about this. How does it make you feel, right? When you tune into that love vibration, and all of those words, they were so very positive, weren't they? You know, love is unconditional. Another way, my way of saying it is like, love is acceptance, isn't it? Love is inclusive. When we love, we include, we accept, we allow, and so it's unconditional. It's like, I love you anyway. It's unconditional. I accept you as you are. I don't expect anything of you. I don't judge you. My love is unconditional. Human love tends to be conditional, but love, the vibration love, is unconditional. It's neutral. It's accepting of everything. So things that we as humans might judge as bad, evil, you know, different things that we might judge them to be, that's what we do in our separation. That's what we do in our duality. But the vibration love is unconditional and flowing. So somebody said love is flowing. Absolutely, love is flowing. It allows everything to flow, everything to move, everything to change. It doesn't stop. It doesn't resist. Now, I'm going to put a qualifier on this, because love is everything. So it is even all of these things that we're saying it isn't. It actually is. But to match that vibration of love, yes, it's flowing. It is oneness. Yes, because it is all things. It is life. Love is life. It is the force that underpins the creation of the universe, of everything that we are and everything that everything else is as well. Love is alignment. Love is alignment. Love is alignment with your higher being. Your higher being is love. Your source is love. Love is alignment. Absolutely. And then someone said it's the highest energy. It's the highest vibration that we know in our universe. The highest vibration is love. Absolutely. And love is compassion. Love is compassion. Love is compassion because, and here's an interesting, I don't know what we'll call it. Here's an interesting little model. Pity at one end, which is kind of like the opposite of compassion. And then, so we've got pity, and then we've got sympathy, and then we've got empathy, and then we've got compassion. These are all kind of related. And so pity is the opposite of compassion, because, you know, I pity you. It's like, I judge you to be in a terrible state of some nature. And, you know, I pity you because of it. So compassion is the opposite of that. In compassion is the neutrality of love, is the acceptance of love. And then we've got this idea of empathy and sympathy. When we are in empathy, we are actually not, when we are in sympathy, we are actually not loving to ourselves or the other person, because we're sitting there right there with them and saying, oh yeah, this sucks, isn't this awful? Oh, this is a terrible situation that you're in. Let me commiserate, let me share in your pain. Let me, you know, let me beat my breasts with you. And then empathy is getting closer to compassion, because we're saying, well, I empathize with you. I can see your situation. I can see it's a challenging situation. I'm certainly not going to get in there with you and, so that I'm suffering, but maybe I can lend you a hand because I can see that you are in a problem. So absolutely, compassion is love. And then somebody else said integrity. And I agree with that too. I'd written down truth and honesty. So truth and honesty and integrity, they're all aspects of love and being loving. And, it's funny. One of the questions I asked my guide earlier on, I said, when we were talking about love, I said, what is tough love? What is tough love? And my guide said, tough love is honesty. Tough love is truth. So love isn't always nice. It isn't always telling somebody what they want to hear. It isn't always pleasing them. It can be being honest with them. And being honest with them can cause them to move into resistance or to get upset. But it's love is kindness. It's a kind thing to do. Corey, yeah.
Yeah, but just because it's like when you teach, right? When you teach things, just because you're giving what you say tough love, I think that you got to separate those two words. I think when you love somebody, the love doesn't change, but the message changes. But the
Yes.
love is continuous. The love stays there. That frequency is up
Yes.
here.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Yeah. And tough love, it's a human saying, isn't it? But exactly that's what we mean is, I love you and I'm communicating with you, honestly. And I would also say communication is love. The withholding of communication is not love, but communication, open communication is love. So love is inclusive. It is it's a force of attraction. And love is light. Love is light. Absolutely, love is light. So dare I get you, dare I get you to write one word of what is to you what love is not. And we're going to go to a break, so you can write it while we're waiting to restart the second part, bearing in mind that there's kind of a dualistic thing going on here, because on the one hand, everything is love. On the other hand, now I'm getting you to be dualistic and human and write the opposite of love. So what is not love? We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie, and we ended up talking about love this evening.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to talk about. So
I have one.
What's that, Corey?
It's love is the key.
Love is a key.
Yeah. One of the things one of the modalities, healing modalities that I had the privilege of working with, the founder, he was talking about everything from energy healing to working with your guides to even changing and jumping realities. He said, we can do this. Every human being can do this because we have the capability of the frequency of love. In other words, what he used to do, teach to do, is we do a healing, and you drop into your heart. You could like almost like dropping a stone. You go into your heart, and that heart center, you could feel the power there. He says that's one thing that governments and that are trying to do,
psyops.
yeah, psyops and things like that. They cannot duplicate that. They can't do it. They have to look at, and he says it's just not possible, because you can't reach an AI, a soldier. They can't reach that capability or that frequency of love
Yeah.
to allow them to do what they need to do.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's interesting. Yeah, and it's true. Love is a key that opens all doors, because it's a unifying force. It connects you with everything. So whatever it is that you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to channel a higher being, well, you need to be in that high vibration of love. So absolutely, Corey, it is a key that opens a connection with all possibilities. Did anybody write something down that's not love?
Yes,
What did they put?
they did. Let me just get to it. I'm just trying to keep things organized here. Okay. The first one, love from Katie is love is not abuse.
Yeah.
So you want to just keep going?
Yeah, let's make a list.
Okay. Tracy says love is not selfish. Omida says not love equals shame. So love is not shaming, I guess.
Yeah.
Carrie is love is not restrictive or controlling. Lori says love is not fear. Brian says love is, again, he says the same thing, love is not fear. Next one. Carol says anything that has a contracting energy instead of being expansive. That's interesting. Carol says love is not conditional. And Monotone Maiden says love is not oppressing. That's an interesting word. And she adds holding one back in any way.
Right.
And Shannon says love isn't judging. Whoops. Love isn't judging.
Okay.
And that looks like all the ones for now.
Yeah.
Let me check the other. Crystal
We'll
says love is not judgment.
Yeah. We'll go through the list. But folks listening, did you notice, how did you feel when we were saying all the words of love is? Did that make you feel good? Did that make you feel like you were rising up in vibration? And was it easier for you to hold that vibration when we said those words? And then when we read out these other words, did you find yourself sort of coming down a little bit to match the vibration of those words? And that's, in a way, that's kind of our human challenge, isn't it? We face all of those things in our daily lives, and to maintain our vibration when those things are going on, that's our challenge. So love is not abuse. Love isn't abuse. No, love is not abuse. And gosh, that could be a whole show to talk about abuse. So maybe I might not open that can of worms. Let me see. I'll go through the list and I might come back to that one. Love is not selfish. Love is not selfish, but it's also not a sacrifice. So I think we have a thing that says it's wrong to be selfish, but that ends up going the other way, where people end up sacrificing themselves for others, and that's not love either. So love is, it's giving and receiving, it's accepting of all things. So it's not selfish, but it's also not denying yourself because you're trying not to be selfish, if that makes sense. Love is not shame. Yeah, love is not shame. Love is not guilt. Love is not unworthiness. Because in all of those things, there's a kind of judgment. You know, in shame, there's a kind of judgment that something about my behavior or what I am or who I am is not acceptable. But everything about you is acceptable. You are made from love and you are made from an aspect of divine consciousness. So there's nothing about you that is shameful. And there's nothing that you could do that from the perspective of spirit, that is unworthy or worthless, and so on. Someone said it's not restrictive. And that's when we I would say one interpretation of that is when we perceive that there's something stopping us, either another person stopping us or a situation stopping us. We feel hemmed in, we can't expand, we feel restricted. And I would say love is the full expression of who you are in an unrestricted, unlimited way. But I would also say that when we feel hemmed in, and if we are pointing at external circumstances to say that person is restricting me, or that situation is restricting me, we're denying our power and we're giving our power away to that thing that we are saying is restricting us. And that is one thing that we didn't say when we were talking about love. We didn't say love is powerful. And the opposite of love is powerlessness. Love is powerful. Love. And so to love yourself is to be in your power. Love is not controlling, yet not controlling, manipulating, and so on. And so when we control, when we manipulate, we do not understand who we are, and we do not understand who the other person is. We do not know our true nature. We do not know our true power. We do not know our true capability. And we feel that we have to control another person or a situation in order to remain safe. So in a way, it's linked to fear of not being in control. And fear is the next one. Yeah, fear is, so we're saying love is the highest vibration that we know. Fear is the lowest vibration that we know. And fear, love is flowing. Fear is stuck, not moving. So, yeah. And then we had, we had the word restrictive and someone else said contracting. So they're very similar, aren't they? The walls are closing in. I'm feeling more and more powerless. Less and less in charge of my reality. Another word is conditional. Yeah, I love you if you're only acceptable to me under these set of circumstances. Otherwise, I don't want anything to do with you. And then someone else said oppressing. So we've got oppressing, contracting, controlling, all of the, restricting, abusing, they're kind of connected. Love is not holding back. I mean, not loving is, which way did I say that? Not loving is holding back. Yeah, because you're withholding information, you're withholding communication. Maybe you're not speaking about how you're feeling. You're not being honest, not being authentic. That was another one we didn't say. Love is being authentic. And judging. Yeah, because when we judge, we're not accepting, are we? We're in the realm of separation in all of these things, and we're in the realm of togetherness when we love. So let us, before the break, and then after the break, we'll answer the listeners' questions. And if there's time before the break, we can do that too. But let's just take a moment to just move into the vibration of love. So I would just invite you to close your eyes and to just tune into your heart. Tune into your heart and allow yourself to feel the energy in your heart center. And exactly as it feels right now. And we talked about love and not love. And so how much right now are you matching the vibration of love in your heart? And how much right now is it feeling like something else? So, and what we might say is like, how much are you blocking the flow of love that is your natural self? So notice that. And then let's open to more love. So in tuning into your heart, now you might, if you see, you might see light emanating, or you might feel that feeling of love. So I want you to connect into that feeling or that awareness of that light. And if for some reason you feel you can't do either of those things, take a moment to think of something you love or somebody you love. So if you have a pet or a puppy or a baby or a child or someone that you do love and you feel a sense of unconditional love for, and think of that person till you can catch that feeling. And then focus on that, because what you focus on expands. So focus on that light, focus on that love, focus on that feeling, and invite your heart to open. In fact, ask your higher being to share its love through your heart center. Allow yourself to receive that and open your heart center to expand the love that is there. And maybe it starts as a small pinpoint of light, but then just invite it to expand. Maybe it's the size of a coin. Let it expand to the size of a baseball. And just allow that light to get bigger and bigger and bigger, so that your chest is full of that light, of that unconditional love, of that all-encompassing energy that connects you with all people, all things, all beings. And then ask it to get bigger and bigger and bigger until you are sitting in a sphere of light, until your entire energy field is filled with that love and that light, till your entire body is bathed in this vibrational frequency. And in this vibrational frequency, things move into alignment. So just to sit here in this vibrational frequency is a healing. You are loving yourself, you're giving your body a healing. You're inviting the cells to move into alignment. You're able to connect with your higher being because you're matching the vibration of your higher being. And you're able to open doors. So be in that vibration. And just ask for something that you would like to come into your life through this force of attraction. Now that you're in this state of being a vibrational match, with the force that underpins everything. All right, and so you can remain in that feeling for as long as you wish. Because this is a radio show, we have to keep talking. And so do you think it's a good time to take a break, Corey, and then we'll take all the listeners' questions when we come back?
Yeah, I've got some comments for you. Also, just one addition, Katie was saying, love is healing.
Yeah, love is healing. It
That's a good
is. Yeah, thank you, Katie.
Yeah, why don't we jump to a break right now and go from there.
All right, listeners. So the next part, we're going to answer your questions. So I can't wait to see what you've written. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back, listeners, to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. And we're all riding high on a vibration of love because we did a little short meditation before the break. And maybe all your questions have been answered because maybe you just moved into a state where you could receive your own guidance.
Oh, then we could go have dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a few comments that were from, hi, Kelly. Mita says, listening to the not love words makes me feel tense and negative in my body.
Yeah, I noticed that that my vibration started changing as I was reading them out, and it was, you had to pay more attention to staying up. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have some people joining us now. And Kelly says, I think in the way that men have confused love with me, the most important way they've confused the concept is veneration.
Veneration, worship.
Yeah.
Worship, bowing down before someone that is greater than you. Yeah. Well, it says, it's hierarchical. Veneration makes love hierarchical, doesn't it? And yet there is divine within you. You are as worthy as any other thing that you might try to venerate. Thank you for that one.
And Monotone Maiden said she got a little triggered
when we read those words. Yeah. Well, hopefully the meditation that we did afterwards helped lift you back up.
I hope so. Okay, folks. Get your questions in. We have one from Shannon. And I'll give you that one. Shannon says, hello, lovely Leslie and Mr. Corey. What do you see for me in a new loving real estate team? Any direction or suggestions for me?
Shannon, did you just join us?
Yes.
Oh, just for the special bit where you can ask a question. So you might want to listen to the podcast, Shannon, because we were talking about our own vibration, basically. And so you can attract whatever you want by being a vibrational match for that. We were talking about, we were playing with the vibration of love versus the vibration of something that's not love. And so in your daily life, what's your vibration? Where are you hanging out? Are you hanging out in competition, jealousy, dissatisfaction? Or are you hanging out in, integrity, honesty, gratitude, and those higher vibrational frequencies? Because what you attract into your life is actually, it's going to match that, isn't it? So what do we see for you in terms of attracting a new real estate team? Whatever vibration you are right now is what you will attract in terms of a new real estate team, or more of the same of you have now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people separate those two concepts, work and personal, and they can see love in their personal, but love takes very little or no place in their career or work life. And I think just the opposite you should do just the opposite. You should bring that sense of love, that caring into your work life, because A, you'll be happier, you'll be in the sense of love more so. And it doesn't matter what you do. I don't think it matters what you do. You can um just expand your whole atmosphere and the people around you as well. Now you don't have to be like, oh, I love you, but just put that forth from within. I mean, you do it, Dr. Leslie. You do it every day, all day. I mean, it's how's
Yes.
that make you feel?
um Fulfilled, happy. But I did used to have a corporate job. And I was just thinking while you were talking, Corey, yeah, because we often create a job or a career out of obligation, responsibility, desperation, a whole belief system that says it's I don't know, it's going to make me miserable, I've got to work really hard. I think that's quite common. And you're right, it's like, what do you expect if that's the belief system that you are, the belief framework that you're creating it through? So Shannon, to empower you, we say, what's your vibration? And keep your vibration high. That's the most empowering thing that we can say to you.
Yeah. Help build a team, help support the team. And she says a loving team, so help support the team with that inner frequency. And and especially in real estate, as you go out there and you're meeting people and knocking on doors and everything, that love, if you can get there, people don't see it, they just feel it, and they're going to feel you, they're going to feel your presence there, and
Yeah.
there's going to be a trust,
And
and
I'll
you'll
just,
yeah.
yeah. And just a very quick read of your energy, Shannon, is to say, it looks like that's not where you're hanging out. It looks like you're matching the general vibe of the real estate industry, because you're fitting in the way that you're supposed to do it. But hey, bring a little bit of you, bring that high loving vibration, and then you'll attract that high loving vibration.
Brian made a good point as well. I'm just going to jump in with Brian, even though it's not in order. He says, that's true, Corey, but when your vibration gets high enough, sometimes the place you work is no longer a vibrational match, especially if the lower vibration, sometimes you have to leave. Very
True.
true. Very true. And
I meet
that's,
lots of people like that all the time, and I was one of them.
yeah,
So, yeah.
sometimes it happens. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Okay, next question from Brian. Brian says, I'm curious as to what you observed in the energy shifts and changes happening right now. Lots happening in the world. Love your take on it.
Lots happening. Yeah, lots happening. Well, let's do a present time read of the energy. I think I talked about the energy last week. I'm not sure how much it's changed since last week. Probably a lot. Let's take a look. Well, I'm going to say something quite similar to, I think, what I said last week. And maybe we'll say it in a different way. The energy's very polarized. And what I was in the last month or so seeing with most people I was looking at was people bouncing up and down. And so you feel matching the high vibration, feeling good, plummeting to the low vibration, feeling bad, and up and down like that. And so there's an invitation to ride the crest of the wave, and to be just what we've been talking about today, oddly enough, and I didn't even realize it, is to match that upper crest of the wave, and that's how we actually then together move it even higher. Right, so we've been bouncing up and down, very polarized, and the trick to handle the ups and downs is to manage your energy so that you're riding the crest of the wave rather than plummeting into the valleys and then having to get back up on the mountaintop. And I feel like this is also relating to what we've been calling the new earth. The new earth is relating, which is exactly relating to what we've been talking to today as well, by the way, which is where we can move into the experience of a species that is founded on love, that is accepting everyone for their differences rather than judging each other for their differences. So a lot of what you see going on in the world, it's the old model, the old polarized model where we're operating from fear and greed and hatred and despair and all of those things. But yes, there is rising up this new version of our world. And I noticed that Brian said, I've been noticing lots of good things happening lately. Yeah. Yes. So at the same time, there is this rising up. And, the way to create something new is to create something new. It's not to rail against the thing that you disagree with. It's to put your energy into creating what it is that you're wanting to see. So, yeah. And what the other thing, and again, it's funny, in this conversation before the show with my guide, he actually drew a little diagram, and the diagram was like exactly like we're talking about, but mountain peaks. And what he showed me is, he's basically saying it to me, but it's like, your job is to stand on the mountain peak and connect with the others that are on the mountain peaks. Your job is not to go down into the valley and sink amongst the lost sheep in the valley. And the people who are on the mountain peaks are connecting a new infrastructure for the planet, where we're all connecting. And as more people are standing on the mountaintop and connecting, where the energy's rising, and this new earth is being formed above the structure or within the structure of the old earth. So hopefully that helps.
I'm sure it will.
So my guide was saying, help the helpers, teach the teachers, stay on the crest of the wave, build a new earth, build a connection of those who are able to maintain this higher vibration, because this is what we came for.
Okay, this is from Denise. Denise says, how do I sidestep my ego to love myself again? I allow judgment to invite my ego in and allow negative energy in.
Oh, the ego, that's an interesting thing. We've demonized the ego, haven't we? We've said, I have this ego, it's a bad thing. And when it comes in, it disrupts me. Maybe we can reframe what the ego is. So the ego is, so it's like, well, okay, who are you? Who are you really, Denise? Who are you? You are what we've been working on tonight. You are love. You are light. You are the infinite. And so, but now you've got this body, and this body is wearing this mantle, this clothing of a personality. And that personality can be pure you shining through, or it can be distorted you shining through. So we tend to call the distortion part the ego, when really it's see, the ego maybe we'll call it the body personality. In order to be here in a body, you have a persona, you have a personality. You put on an outfit and you say, well, I'm Denise this lifetime. You know, maybe in another lifetime, I'm, I don't know, Cleopatra or Genghis Khan. It's a totally different vibe, isn't it? It's a totally different persona. So we don't want to reject that completely. I guess what we want to do is look at where is the distortion and release and let go of the distortion. So we don't want to sidestep it. We want to align with our higher being, raise our vibration to match that, and to not sidestep, but just release what is not in alignment with you. And I don't know if you were there when we did the meditation before the break, but that will help you to dissolve the out of alignment parts of you. If you bring in that very in alignment energy of love and you bathe in it and you sit and meditate at that vibration, it will help you dissolve what is unwanted within your space, within your energy. Hope that helps.
Lovely. Okay, Tammy said that's totally been me recently, trying to get in and out of low energy, and then she replies after one of your comments or one of your readings says, going to intentionally stay on the mountaintops.
Yeah, stay
I
on the
like
mountain,
it.
rise up.
Rise up. Yeah.
Feels a bit biblical, some of this language. Rise up.
Well, somebody taught me something years ago, and I find it does work. Love is light, negative emotions are dark, and negativity is, like negativity, things that happen, negativity. And you ever have a little child who cries and is unhappy, and you go and you put your arms around them and give them love. Notice that the crying subsides and everything starts going well. Well, you can do that with anything. When you have somebody out there that's causing you problems, you don't even have to do it to them. You could just put your arms around and hug them in your mind's eye and just love them. And you'd be surprised how your feelings change. And sooner or later, things start happening out there. And you can do that with your own emotions, like ego. If your ego needs love too. If you love your ego, well, your ego starts becoming loving. And it does work. It really does work. You'll see how quickly you change and the things around you change. What do you think about that, Dr. Leslie?
I think that's great.
So she says, is ego our identity?
Okay, so
That's the last question for today.
So what is identity? And I think that there's different ways we can look at the word identity. So your true identity, your soul signature, is the unique aspect of divine consciousness that you are. That's different than your human identity, because your human identity is a projection of that, wearing the mantle of a particular personality. So, is ego identity? I think it's semantics. Human language makes us use these words, and different people would interpret the word ego and the word identity, so it sort of brings it down to an intellectual level in a way. But is ego synonymous with identity? I would say, to me, they feel different. Your identity is your unique divine aspect from a spiritual perspective. And from a human perspective, it's the personality that you are, especially when that pure identity is shining through this bodysuit that you have on. Yeah.
And that's it for tonight, Dr. Leslie.
Yeah, thank you everyone for showing up. Maybe we'll be more playful with the show and we'll just show up and see what teaching comes through, which is kind of what we did tonight.
Sounds great.
Ended up being quite good.
And if you enjoyed the show, folks, just give us a like, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Love us on there, and that'll be wonderful. Well, folks, we'll see you all next week.